Hi, welcome to Carolina Crafting. I'm Jackie Jentz. Today we're in Brassville, North Carolina, home of the Possum Drop. We're just a little bit, I think a mile from downtown Brasstown, so just from my shop and Clay's Corner and the folk school, just go one more mile out for some really wonderful art. We're here with Billie Shelburn. Hi, thank you for letting us come out here, and thank you for opening the Creamery again.
Thank you for
coming.
It.
Oh,
I'm excited about being opening again.
It's such a wonderful space. I even looked at it. I know it was for sale, and I looked at the building. And I thought, oh, what a great place to have an art gallery.
It's a wonderful building. It was historically it was built the same time as the folk school, and has a lot of history, and was a ruin when I bought it.
I've seen pictures. Oh my gosh, you did such wonders for it. Oh.
Yes, and I love the building. It will take a special person to buy it from me.
If I had the money, I would love this place. I mean, the walls are, because it was a creamery, the walls are like really thick and...
Yes, yes. The walls are at least 12 inches thick. They're fieldstone that were dug up right here on this property and in the creek. And the floor you're standing on is 16 inches thick with an I-beam that will hold up a bridge.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
oh,
it's a very strong building.
Just the history alone here. And then this, I know you're open before, but this time you have a collective of artists?
Well, yes. I have several artists in here, mostly regional, a few that are local, and they're all mostly North Carolina artists. And I love to support North Carolina artists and shop local, buy local.
That's why I'm doing what I do.
Yes, yes.
We're rich in art.
Our area is just a plethora of fine artists, and we need to have it out there and let everybody know that.
Come to North Carolina.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to let you walk around and talk about all the different artists and all the fun things you have here.
Okay. Okay. The work you're seeing here on this display is work of Dan Vanderlyn. He is a local potter and has moved here from Florida some years ago and is a wonderful potter. The paintings you see here are some that I did in Morocco, and the little frogs. I love these little frogs. They're metal work done by a local artist, Brasstown artist, Katrina Miller. The work you're seeing on this wall are some of my watercolors. I work a lot with free style. I never have an idea ahead of time. I put the paint and the paper and the water together, and it tells me what it's going to be. The work on this wall are a lot of my mixed media work, and it includes acrylic, collage, and a lot of collage on these small pieces here. They're my triptychs that have a lot of collage in them. Then these pieces down here are all oil and acrylic on canvas, and I do these on location in a lot of different countries and in our area. The work you see here on this wall is Keith Burgess. He is a regional artist who works in oil, and his use of color is just unbelievable. Color and light. On the top you see some more of Dan's mountain work, his latest work. These bags are part of my latest acquisition. They're from a local artist who lives in Warren. Her name is Els Fingerling, and she creates these felted bags out of old wool sweaters that have been felted. And so they're just beautiful. She uses every part of it, and they just are the most unique and wonderful things you've ever seen, aren't they? We have some wonderful hand-turned vessels by Charles Watson, who lives in Casey, South Carolina, but teaches very often at the folk school, and I'm very pleased to have his work. Most of the locals are already in the craft shop at John C. Campbell, so it was necessary for me to go out of this area to get a wood turner. This display is done by an artist in Charlotte. Her name is Louise Farley, and she works in oil. She has a very, very nice sense of color and of design, and she has a very unique way of capturing people in a natural element, and instead of having them pose for their picture to be painted. How many of you have come to the mountain and had to look for a hiking stick? Well, we have just the hiking stick for you. They're all made individually, and they are coated with wonderful polychrome, which makes them completely waterproof. And we have every kind of wood that you can imagine. These are made by Marcus Elliott. Here we have a whole wall of beautiful yarn and fiber scarves or belts, as you can see, knitted around the waist. They're actually just yarn and ribbon tied together, and they're very versatile. You can wear them as a scarf or as a belt, and they come in so many pretty colors. Look at Jackie. That one looks really pretty on her, doesn't it? These are done by Kathy Elliott, a local artist. Again, you'll see a fiber art made by Kathy Elliott. They're necklaces that are crocheted ribbon, and here you see one on Jackie. They're very light, and you can use the bead on it that goes up and down to make it from a choker to a longer necklace. And she has them in all colors here. Here you see a display of handmade books that have been put together with handmade paper. They're wonderful books. You can use them for sketchbooks, you can use them for guest books, you can give them to your friends as gifts. It's a truly unique gift. And we have so many different kinds here that some have leather on them, some have oriental paper, some have pressed flowers, and we have just a large selection of them.
I hope you've enjoyed the tour as much as I have. I love this gallery, I love this building, and I love Billie Shelburn too. She's got such great spirit. So thanks for watching Carolina Crafting. Be sure and catch me on the web, www.carolinacrafting.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Carolina Crafting, or come by my shop in Brasstown, beautiful Brasstown, North Carolina, home of the Possum Drop. Thanks for watching. We're going to do a quick little project that's handy and efficient and can use up some of your scraps. It's a little travel tissue cover, and we all know we need travel. It's allergy season here in North Carolina, so we all need our tissues handy. I've made a template. I just taken some plastic, and I've made 6 inches by 5 inches, and this piece is 6 inches by 4. This is the base, this is the top, and I don't have one of those fancy, although I'd like to have one, I don't have one of those fancy quick cutters. I just use scissors. I take my ever handy marker and I draw mine. I like doing this, so it's therapeutic for me, but if you're all really good at this, you use your quilting rulers and just whip it out with your rotary cutters. And just quick snips. I've been sewing for a very, very long time, and I had a grandfather who would let me sew, my grandmother and grandfather let me sew at their house, but I wasn't allowed to make this scrapey sound. It got on my grandfather's nerves. All his sisters sewed, and it was in the evening when they're all trying to relax, and he hated the interruption of the noise. Always think of him at that point. Now that these are cut, I'm going to turn them wrong sides together, so it's I'm also going to fold this one in half. And fold these are the longer ones. Fold these in half. I'm going to move over to the ironing board now, so come along. I've got my ironing board stuck in a corner, so it's out of the way, and I don't use much of it. It doesn't need to be sticking out in the room. So I press down the smaller side, and then the 2 half pieces, give them a nice crease. Then I line them up, the folded edge toward the middle. Just line them up like that. Make sure I got the right side. There we go. Okay, so you can pin these here, or you can move right to your sewing machine, which we're going to do right now. I've decided to stick a pin in it just for safety's sake. I don't want it sliding around on me. This project, it doesn't matter what color your thread is, it's not going to show anywhere on there. So I always just use I've marked on here is 4, I guess it's 4/8, a ½ inch. 4/8 is a ½ inch? Yeah, it's half inch. I did some math in my head. Okay, there we go. And I always when I get down here to where it overlaps, I always try to back stitch a little bit, so you're going to be using that a lot and you don't want it to come loose. This side's a little more tricky. This is going to bunch up, so you want to lift your presser foot, and then slide it back under there. Tack it. All we need now to do is to press it. And when I was learning to sew, my grandma told me, always press your seams. Keep everything pressed, crisp, and neat. It makes it look more professional. There's nothing worse than going out with something that looks homemade. You want it to look professional. So I press a lot. Usually I have steam coming out of here, but I'm out of distilled water and I don't want to mess up my iron because we have a well and it has lots of sediment in it. So press. All we have to do now is add a tissue pack. I went down to our local dollar store, and you can buy 8 packs of these little pocket tissues for $1, which is a really great deal. Just take it out. I leave one out separate, just to make it look better. You just tuck it in. Nice and neat. Add the tissue on the outside so it looks nice. Ta-da! As you can see, it took me less than 5 minutes to make this because we did not stop rolling tape except to move from place to place. So great, easy, fast gift. You can make bunches of them. I have a pile of them. I use up all my scraps this way. Thanks for watching. Be sure and check out my website, www.carolinacrafting. You can find me on Facebook, Carolina Crafting, or you can come to Brasstown and shop at my shop on Old Highway 64 in beautiful downtown Brasstown, home of the Possum Drop.